The Northern Hungary region is one of the 8 major regions of Hungary. It lies in the northeastern part of the country and covers 3 counties. Nógrád, Heves and Borsod-Abaúj Zemplén. Geographically speaking, the region mostly belongs to the northern Hungarian mountains, which are the foothills of the Carpathians, while some areas in the south are part of the Great Hungarian Plain. The landscape is also shaped by the river Tisza and its tributaries such as the Hernád, the Sajó and the Bodrog. The highest point of the region is the 1040 meters high Mount Kékes in the Mátra Mountains. Which is also the country's highest peak. Northern Hungary is rich in natural resources such as metal ores and coal, which facilitated the development of mining and heavy industry in the region. The total population of the region is 1.2 million. Its industrial and economic center and also the most populous city is Miskolc. Followed by other major cities and towns such as Eger and Salgótarján. The city of Miskolc is not only the center of northern Hungary, but also the seat of Borsod-Abaúj Zemplén county, and with its population of 155,000, the 4th most populous city in Hungary. It lies at the foothills of the big mountains and stretches along the valleys of 3 rivers and streams. Due to its geographical location, Miskolc has been an important traffic hub and center of the regional industry and culture for centuries. The University of Miskolc is one of the most significant academic institutions in Hungary. Dedicated to scientific fields supporting heavy industry. It was founded in 1949. And its programs of study were mainly focused on the fields of mining and metallurgical engineering. The legacy of the former Royal Academy of Mining and Forestry, founded in 1735 in Selmecbánya, today Banská Štiavnica in Slovakia, and later moved to Sopron, still plays an important role in the life of students and professors. Miskolc and those former independent towns which have been united with the city are rich in historical and natural sites. The Avas is a 234 meters high hill in the middle of the downtown area. On the top of it stands the iconic Lookout Tower, one of the symbols of Miskolc. The medieval Calvinist church, located on the northern side of the hill and built in Romanesque and Gothic styles, belongs to the most notable monuments of the city, along with other churches such as the so-called Wooden Church, the Minaret Church and the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church. It is only since 1945 that Diósgyőr has been part of Miskolc. The small settlements once used to be the nerve center of Hungarian steel industry. Today, it is mostly known for its four-towered royal castle, one of the most iconic and well-known landmarks of Hungary. The first fort was destroyed during the Mongol invasion, but soon it was rebuilt and became a beloved summer residence of kings and queens in the Middle Ages. Lillafüreg, now officially part of Miskolc too, is an enchanting village by the picturesque Lake Hámori, surrounded by the forests of the Bükk Mountains. It is famous for the magnificent neo-Renaissance Hotel Palace, built in the 1920s. There is also a number of natural treasures near to the building. The country's highest waterfall, the Anna and the St. Stephen's Caves. Miskolc-Topolca is probably the most luxurious part of the city. The biggest attraction there is the cave bath, with 150 meters long tunnels inside the rock. Visitors can find great pleasure provided by the 30 degrees Celsius water in various pools and chambers. Due to its symbolic role in the fights and resistance against the Ottomans, Eger is probably one of the most well-known and most popular cities of Hungary. It is the county seat of Heves and has a population of 55,000, which makes it the second most populous city of the region. Eger is also an important religious, cultural and educational center. The University of Eger offers study programs in several fields of art, and it plays an important role in pedagogical education too. Its main building, the so-called Lyceum, is famous for its observatory tower and the working Camera Obscura. Eger is also the seat of one of Hungary's 4 Roman Catholic archbishops. It has been a bishopric since 2009 and gained the rank of Metropolitan Archdiocese in 1804. The most important religious building of the city is the neoclassical St. John's and St. Michael's Cathedral, designed by József Hild. It was built in the early 19th century. The dome is 37 meters high, while the 2 towers are 55 meters high. The Baroque Archbishop's Palace and its gardens nearby are also worth a visit. The iconic castle of Eger is an important site of national identity and pride. fortress has a history of almost 1,000 years. The current complex was built after the Mongol invasion, and it became the home of the bishop too. After the fall of the medieval kingdom of Hungary at the battlefield of Mohács in 1526, Eger became especially important as a part of the northern defense line. In 1552, the castle was besieged by the army of Suleiman the Great, led by Pasha Kara Ahmed. Approximately 2,000 Hungarians managed to defend Eger against about 40,000 Ottoman soldiers. The siege ended with a glorious Hungarian victory. The novel Eclipse of the Crescent Moon, written by Géza Gárdonyi about the historical siege, is required reading for Hungarian schoolchildren. Since the city fell in the next siege in 1596, Eger belonged to the Ottoman occupation zone for a century, a period that left many monuments behind. The most well-known one is the minaret, the surviving 40 meters high tower of a former mosque built in the 17th century, the northernmost of its kind. The ruins of the Valide Sultana baths and the fully refurbished, still working Turkish bath in the city park are also remarkable examples of Eger's Ottoman heritage. One of the most picturesque public spaces of Hungary is Dobó Square, with the statue of the castle's celebrated defender Captain István Dobó. The City Hall and the Minaret Church, which is a fine example of great Baroque architecture. Eger's name is also strongly associated with its winemaking traditions. The region's flagship product is a so-called Bull's Blood, a full-bodied blend of red wines which must contain at least 3 of 13 local red grapes, such as Blue Frankish, Kadarka, Pinot Noir and Cabernet Franc. Its name, according to the legend, came from the Ottomans, who believed that the defending Hungarian soldiers gained their power by consuming a mixture of red wine and the blood of bulls. White wines are also famous, commemorating the famous novel too. The blend called The Star of Eger is a white alternative to the red bull's blood. The Valley of the Beautiful Woman is a popular district of Eger. There are dozens of cellars carved into the volcanic rocks, many of them offering visitors wine and food. Salgótarján is the seat of Nógrád County. It is located at the foot of the Cserhát and Karancs mountains. The city used to be an important coal mining and industrial center in the 20th century. Its development was interrupted by the changes in 1989. Nowadays, it's a sleepy town with a population of 35,000. Salgótarján is most famous because of its natural environment, the untouched forests and the unique volcanic rock formations. Also, the ruins of two medieval fortifications, the Castle of Salgó and the Castle of Somoskő, are worth visiting while wandering in the hills surrounding the city. Having witnessed the 1,000 years history of Hungary, there are many other wonderful castles in the region. Standing on a majestic volcanic cliff of the Zemplén Mountains, the medieval Boldogkő Castle is probably one of the most picturesque ones. The Castle of Füzér also stands on a volcanic peak in Zemplén. The most famous part of its rich history was after the Battle of Mohács, when the Holy Crown was kept within its massive walls. Besides the castles, the northern Hungarian mountains offer much to see and to do. The so-called tarn of Mount Megyer, with its deep blue water and the surrounding rocks, is a popular destination with hikers and climbers. Although it looks similar to those proglacial ones, formed by glaciers in the Ice Age, this lake was created by 500 years of mining activity. There are many thermal springs in the region too. Some of them are natural, while a number of the wells are a result of modern-age hydrocarbon exploration. Eger-Szalok is a famous example for this. The 68 degrees Celsius thermal water of its spa comes from a depth of 410 meters. During the last decades, it formed a unique cascade, locally called the Salt Hill, which is similar to the one in Pamukkale, Turkey. One of Hungary's most popular natural treasures is the valley of the stream Szalajka in Szilvásvárad. There are various attractions along the stream, such as the waterfall, the Istáloskő cave, which served as a shelter for prehistoric man, the famous Lipicáner stud farm, and the steam engine forest railway. Proving the region's richness of natural and cultural treasures, 3 out of 8 Hungarian UNESCO World Heritage Sites are also located in northern Hungary. The small village of Hollókő, located in a valley of the Cserhát Mountains, is a real pearl of Nógrád County. Built and populated by the Palocs people, a distinct ethnic group of local Hungarians, the settlement managed to preserve its unique structure, traditional rural and ethnographical character. Hollókő is well known because of its narrow streets with tiny white houses and the charming little church, as well as the ruins of the castle on the top of a nearby hill. Local people still take care of traditions and folk culture. The Easter festival of Hollókő, with the curious custom of watering the maidens observed on Easter Monday by local boys, attracts thousands of visitors every year. The caves of Aggtelek karst, together with the caves of the Slovak karst, comprise 712 caves altogether on both sides of the border, out of which 280 are on the Hungarian side. The most famous one is the 26 km long Baradla-Domice system, with almost 75% of its territory belonging to Hungary. The limestone caves are remarkable examples of stalactite and stalagmite structures. The The area is highly protected by the Aktalag National Park, which offers a lot of activities for the visitors, such as cave visits and forest tours. Speaking of Hungary's most well-known landmarks and brands, the historical Tokaj wine region and the botrytized Tokaji Asszú wine are definitely among them. To produce Tokaji wine, 6 particular grape varieties are allowed to be cultivated. 60% of the wine region's area is covered by Furmint wines, 30% by Hárslevelű, while the rest is divided between Yellow Muscat, Zeta, Kabar and Kövérszőlő. The process of making the deep yellow, honey-sweet Tokaji Asszú starts with the late autumn harvest of grapes affected by the noble rot, which are later added to regular wine. This method provides a unique taste and texture, which makes Tokaji Asszú the wine of kings, the king of wines, as according to the legend, the French king Louis XIV once referred to it. Although Tokaj is famous mostly for its sweet nectars, dry wines are also produced. The charming little town of Tokaj, together with the surrounding villages and wine gardens, is part of the World Heritage as a cultural landscape.